Prepare to rethink everything you thought you knew. This is Mind Benders, your source for the most mind-twisting facts that will expand your understanding of the world. Let's bend some minds.
The hook. You did not consciously choose to watch this video. That statement might seem absurd. Of course you did. You saw the title, it piqued your interest, you clicked. A simple chain of cause and effect, initiated and executed by you, the conscious, thinking person in the driver's seat of your own mind. But what if that feeling of control, that sense of deliberate choice, is just a story? A clever trick your brain tells itself, a retroactive press release to explain a decision that was already made, deep in the silent, hidden machinery of your mind, long before you were ever consulted. Consider this. Neuroscientists using advanced brain imaging can now predict your choices with surprising accuracy up to 10 seconds before you are consciously aware of making them. They know which button you'll press, which image you'll prefer, before you do. So, if you weren't the one who truly made that simple choice, who was? This isn't a philosophical riddle. It's one of the most profound questions in modern science. It challenges our understanding of identity, responsibility, and the very nature of free will. We believe we are the pilots of our lives, carefully steering through a sea of decisions. But growing evidence suggests we might be mere passengers, observing a journey orchestrated by a hidden puppeteer. Over the next 20 minutes, we will journey into the vast, uncharted territory of the human brain. We will uncover the ghost in your machine, explore the landmark experiments that shattered our sense of self, and confront a startling possibility: that the person you call you is not the one in charge. The question is, who is? The unseen architect. To understand who's at the controls, we first need to appreciate the sheer scale of the operation. Your conscious mind, the voice you're hearing in your head right now, the part that worries about bills and remembers birthdays, is just the tip of a colossal iceberg. Beneath the surface lies the subconscious, or, as neuroscientists prefer, the unconscious mind. This is not the mystical, dream-filled realm of Freudian theory. It is a supercomputer of staggering power and efficiency. While your conscious mind can juggle at best a few pieces of information at once, your unconscious is processing an estimated 11 million bits of data every single second. It's the unseen architect of your reality. Think about the last time you drove a familiar route. Did you consciously command your hands to turn the wheel, your foot to apply just the right pressure to the accelerator? Or did you arrive at your destination with little to no memory of the journey, your conscious mind having been lost in thought? That was your unconscious at the wheel. This division of labor is essential for survival. The brain consumes about 20% of your body's energy, despite being only 2% of its weight. Running everything consciously would be catastrophically inefficient, so your brain automates almost everything it can. Walking, breathing, balancing, recognizing faces, catching a dropped phone before it hits the ground, these complex miracles of physics and biology are all handled by the silent, expert crew below deck. This system is built on habits, patterns, and instincts honed over millions of years of evolution and a lifetime of personal experience. It's a predictive machine, constantly making assumptions and taking shortcuts to construct a seamless experience of the world for the CEO, your conscious self. It identifies threats before you can name them, generates gut feelings that guide you away from danger, and fuels the creative spark of a sudden aha moment. It is the source of your intuition, your ingrained skills, and your deepest held beliefs. It's the silent partner in every thought you have, every emotion you feel, and every action you take. But here's the unsettling part. If this powerful hidden system is handling all that, what is left for the conscious mind to do? We assume it handles the big things, the important decisions, the choice of a partner, a career path, a moral stance. Is that assumption correct? Or is the CEO just a figurehead, taking credit for the work of a vast, invisible corporation it doesn't even understand? The first cracks in that comforting illusion began to appear in a controversial experiment in the 1980s. The turning point. In 1983, neurophysiologist Benjamin Libet conducted an experiment that was deceptively simple, yet its results sent shockwaves through the worlds of neuroscience and philosophy that are still felt today. Participants were asked to do one simple thing: flex their wrist whenever they felt the urge to do so. They were also asked to watch a specially designed clock and note the exact moment they first became consciously aware of the intention to move. All the while, an electroencephalogram, or EEG, was measuring electrical activity in their brains. Libet was looking for a specific electrical signature called the readiness potential, a buildup of neural activity that precedes voluntary muscle movement. He knew it would appear before the wrist actually flexed, but the crucial question was, when would it appear in relation to the conscious decision to move? Logically, the sequence should be first the conscious decision, then the brain prepares the action, then the action happens. Cause and effect. You are in control. But that's not what Libet found. Again and again, the results were the same. The readiness potential, the brain's preparation to act, began a full half second before the participant reported feeling the conscious urge to move. Let that sink in. Your brain has already started the process of launching an action before you have even decided to perform it. The conscious awareness of the decision appeared to be an afterthought, a latecomer to the party. The feeling of "I will move now" wasn't the cause of the movement, it seemed to be just one of the effects, generated after the real work was already underway. We are faced with a deep and unsettling mystery about the very nature of our own minds. If our choices are born in the unconscious, what is shaping that hidden world? If you want to dive deeper into mysteries like this, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. The unseen architect. If our subconscious is the true command center, we must ask the next, more troubling question. What is influencing it? What invisible forces are pulling the strings of our hidden puppeteer? The answers reveal that we are far more susceptible to the world around us than we could ever imagine. One of the most powerful of these forces is called priming. This is the psychological phenomenon where exposure to one stimulus influences a response to a subsequent stimulus without any conscious guidance or intention. In a famous and controversial experiment by psychologist John Bargh, participants were asked to unscramble sentences. For one group, the sentences contained words associated with the elderly, like Florida, wrinkle, and gray. For the control group, the words were neutral. After the test, the researchers secretly timed how long it took the participants to walk down the hallway. The result was astonishing. The group primed with elderly words walked significantly more slowly than the control group. They had no idea their behavior had been altered. Their subconscious mind heard the subtle whisper of old age and adjusted the physical body accordingly, all without the conscious mind's permission. This effect extends beyond simple actions. In another classic study, participants holding a cup of hot coffee were more likely to judge a stranger's personality as warm and friendly than those holding an iced coffee. The physical sensation of warmth was unconsciously translated into a social judgment. Your opinion of someone can be swayed by the temperature of your beverage. These external primes are constantly shaping our perceptions and decisions. The music in a store can influence what you buy. The color of a room can affect your mood and productivity. The language used in a news headline can frame your entire opinion on a complex issue before you've even read the first sentence. But the influences aren't just external. Our subconscious is also riddled with its own internal programming, cognitive biases. These are mental shortcuts or heuristics that allow the brain to make rapid judgments. They were incredibly useful for our ancestors on the savannah, but can be deeply flawed in our complex modern world. Confirmation bias makes us seek out and favor information that supports our existing beliefs, creating intellectual echo chambers. The availability heuristic makes us overestimate the importance of information that is recent or emotionally vivid, which is why people often fear plane crashes more than car accidents, despite the statistics. Marketing, political campaigns, and social media algorithms are not just appealing to your conscious, rational mind. They are engineered to speak directly to this hidden, automated, biased self. They are designed to prime your emotions and trigger your cognitive shortcuts to guide you toward a specific choice: a vote, a purchase, a click, all while leaving your conscious mind with the satisfying illusion that it made a thoughtful, independent decision. Our subconscious architect, it turns out, is a very impressionable one, constantly being nudged, shaped, and manipulated by forces we rarely, if ever, notice. The feeling of being a sovereign self, immune to influence, is beginning to look like the grandest illusion of them all. Part 5. The revelation nears. So, are we just sophisticated puppets? Are our lives simply the unwinding of a complex clockwork mechanism, pre-programmed by our genes and primed by our environment? Is consciousness nothing more than a useless spectator watching a movie of its own life? Perhaps not. The story has another twist. Let's return to Benjamin Libet. Even he was uncomfortable with the idea that his experiment had killed free will. He pointed to a small window of time, about 100 milliseconds, between when a person feels the conscious urge and when the muscle actually moves. In this tiny window, he proposed, the conscious mind might not have free will, but it could have free won't. It may not be able to initiate the impulse that arises from the unconscious, but it retains the power to veto it. You might not control the urge to reach for another cookie, but you can consciously slap that hand away. You can't stop a foolish or angry thought from bubbling up from your unconscious depths, but you can choose not to speak it. This paints a new picture of the conscious mind, not as a king, but as a guardian or an editor. It stands at the gate, inspecting the impulses generated by the unconscious and deciding which ones get to pass into action. This is a crucial role, responsible for self-control, social grace, and moral choices. But an even more profound role for consciousness was discovered through studying patients with one of the most radical conditions imaginable, a split brain. To treat severe epilepsy, some patients underwent surgery to sever the corpus callosum, the thick bundle of nerves connecting the brain's left and right hemispheres. This created a situation where the two halves of the brain could no longer communicate. The work of Michael Gazzaniga with these patients revealed something astonishing. The left hemisphere of the brain is typically dominant for language and logical reasoning. The right is more involved in spatial and visual processing. In one experiment, the researchers flashed the command walk to a patient's right hemisphere only, which controls the left side of the body. The patient, as commanded by his non-verbal right brain, got up and started walking. When the researchers asked him why he was walking, the patient's left hemisphere, the talking part of his brain, had no access to the real reason. It didn't know about the walk command. Did it say, "I don't know"? No. It instantly invented a plausible reason. The patient said, "I'm going to go get a Coke." Gazzaniga saw this again and again. The left brain would observe the behaviors initiated by the right brain and immediately construct a narrative to make sense of them. He dubbed this function the left brain interpreter. It is a storyteller, a sense-making machine. This suggests that a primary job of your conscious mind is not to make decisions, but to explain them. It observes the actions and feelings bubbling up from the unconscious and weaves them into a coherent story, the story of you. That feeling of control we cherish so much may just be the sound of our own inner narrator confidently explaining why we did what we were going to do anyway. Part 6. The final payoff. So, we return to the fundamental question: who is in control? The evidence seems to have led us to a dead end. We are not the rational authors of our lives. We are heavily influenced by a vast hidden unconscious, which itself is swayed by countless internal and external forces. And our conscious self, the I we hold so dear, may just be a storyteller, a press secretary taking credit for decisions it didn't make. But this conclusion, while dramatic, misses the beautiful truth of the system. The question, who's in control, is flawed because it assumes a duality that doesn't exist. It pits the conscious you against a separate alien brain. They are not two different things fighting for control. They are one integrated system. You are not just the narrator, you are the whole book. You are not the CEO fighting the factory floor, you are the entire company. The relationship is not one of a puppet and a master, but of a captain and a highly skilled crew on a vast ship. The crew, your unconscious, handles the trillions of moment-to-moment operations. They adjust the sails, manage the engine room, and keep the vessel afloat. They do this automatically and expertly, based on years of training and experience. The captain, your conscious mind, does not need to pull every rope. In fact, the ship would run aground if they tried. Instead, the captain has unique and vital responsibilities. They can see the horizon. They can study the maps. They can set the destination. Your conscious mind sets the long-term goals. It decides, I want to learn the piano, or I want to be a more patient person, or I want to quit smoking. It then instructs the crew. At first, the crew is clumsy. Learning the piano is a slow, conscious, frustrating process. But with repetition, the unconscious begins to build the new neural pathways. The action becomes automated, effortless, and subconscious. You are consciously training your own unconscious. The conscious mind can also reflect on the crew's performance. It can notice a recurring negative thought pattern or a bad habit and say, that's not helpful, let's change course. This is the foundation of mindfulness, therapy, and personal growth. It's the power of free won't, the veto, applied not just to a single action, but to entire ways of being. So, who's in control? You are, the complete whole you, the symphony of the self. Your conscious mind is the conductor, not playing every note, but guiding the flow, shaping the interpretation, and bringing all the disparate parts together to create a single, unique piece of music. The illusion is not that you have choice. The illusion is that choice is a simple, singular event that springs from a single source. In reality, it is a constant, dynamic dialogue between the navigator on the bridge and the expert crew below. Understanding this partnership doesn't diminish your control, it empowers you. It gives you the map to your own mind and hands you the helm, allowing you to consciously guide the most powerful unconscious machine in the known universe. The only question left is, where will you steer it? What part of this story shocked you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
The world is full of fascinating paradoxes, isn't it? We hope today's facts truly bent your mind. If you're ready for more daily revelations that challenge the norm, subscribe to Mindbenders. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, keep questioning.